You see what I typed into the search bar? Leadership. Once you have a key admin on your team, you're now in the business of leading, okay? And leadership is influence, nothing more and nothing less. There's a good PowerPoint on that right here, I just see. So what's the best way to work with my key admin people for us to come together and make something happen? Okay, well, here it is right here. It's called Leadership Team Meeting Agenda. So I typed into the bar leadership, and down and we've got this Leadership Team Meeting Agenda. Let's download that together. Okay, I'm clicking on it now. All right, here it is. So every Monday at 9 o'clock till 10:30, every Monday, 9 o'clock to 10:30, I suggest you time block that out, uninterrupted time. Nothing gets in the way of it. Nothing. The only thing that would get in the way of it is if you're out of town on vacation, you're out of town at a conference, you're sick, you're having a baby, getting married, although most people don't get married on Mondays. You're on your honeymoon. Okay. You got a funeral to go to. You guys get it, life events, but otherwise, man, it's just uninterrupted time. So I run my weeks, my planning around this leadership team meeting personally, and I've done this for years, and it's a game changer for you. Okay. So I wouldn't bring it up and wouldn't tell you about it if it wasn't. So every Monday, 9 o'clock to 10:30, you're going to time block and you're going to meet with your key people in your organization, not everyone, but just your key people. So if it's you and one other person, that's who you're meeting with. If it's you and you got 10 other people on your team, they're not all leading, managing, holding people accountable. So you cherry pick and decide who's on your quote leadership team. But the reason for the meeting is to discern what to implement next. Let me repeat. The reason for the meeting is to discern what to implement next. Okay. So good news for you guys. You already have quantum leap initiatives and to-do lists. These quantum leap initiatives and these simple to-dos come from the business plan that you've been given, all laid out, that if you were to implement everything on the business plan, you guys would be at 4 million to 10 million in gross commission income. So 100% guaranteed. Everybody who's implemented everything on it does that. So you can do it too, but it doesn't happen overnight, but it does strategically happen. Okay. So that's where these initiatives come from. So here's how this meeting works with you and your key person. Number one, it's timed. You have an hour and a half time block, period. Okay. It starts on time and it ends on time, and you do not infringe on the time. So that means, Andrea, you can imagine in a meeting, let's say I was doing a meeting with Craig Proctor. If Craig and I didn't have you enforcing the time limits, we wouldn't get past the first thing on the agenda in an hour and a half, would we?
That's true.
Yes. You would have to say, Craig, time's up. And Craig would be like, yeah, we only had 5 minutes for that. And you talked about something else for 5 minutes, and we didn't get to the other people in the room. It only happens once or twice when you start violating the time constraints and everybody gets in check. But someone responsible to the clock has to put a time limit on these things. And then you learn the value of time. Everybody on your team does. It's a tremendous way to start your meetings, is every part of the meeting is timed and it starts and stops. And so if you get somebody long-winded in there, you got an Andrea or somebody like it that's looking at the clock and it's like, you're down to 3 minutes, you're down to 2 minutes, you're down to 1 minute, you got 30 more seconds and you dominated the whole time. Nobody else got to, share their good news as an example here. Okay. So, but why do you start out your meetings with good news? If you guys might be like me, I don't know, but you're really driven and you're a grinder, and you want things to change and you want to change them overnight. You want to get to the end result like quick. So you're always focused on the things that aren't working real well and you're wanting to replace those and improve things. I don't know, type in the comments and chat if that describes you. Okay, that's kind of how I am. And I see that as an attribute, but that means I might likely jump into the meeting and just start talking about the stuff that ain't right. And that's wrong. from a leader, you got to make some time to share the good news of what's going on from the work that you are doing. So you got to have a good news report. Okay. Next, scorecard. A scorecard is your beginning process for tracking and reporting your key metrics and numbers in your business. Now let's pause there. For many of you, you're not tracking, you're not reporting, there is no scorecard. Well, guess what would happen in your leadership meeting? This would become an initiative. Hey, we don't have a scorecard. We're not really tracking our basic conversion numbers. So we need to put that on our list of things to do. So the leadership team meeting agenda has just the list of things on the agenda will rise to the level of what you need to get working on implementing.